This is the Swiss Paraplegic Group. The foundation is the parent company of the group, which comprises 7 subsidiaries and 2 partner organizations. More than 1.8 million people are members of the Benefactors Association of the foundation. The foundation manages the money, which is used, among other things, for direct aid. For example, if a person with a spinal cord injury needs a new wheelchair. It is also used for subsidiaries and partner companies that support people with spinal cord injuries. People like Paul benefit from this. He is 34, married, a tradesman, and he plays football in his free time. A car crashes head-on into Paul's car while he is driving to work. Paul is seriously injured in the accident. The paramedics who come to Paul's aid were trained at the Swiss Institute of Emergency Medicine, SIRMED. They recognize the spinal cord injury and provide Paul with the appropriate care. Paul is transferred to the closest large hospital. The diagnosis, a spinal cord injury. As Paul has a spinal cord injury, he is moved to the Swiss Paraplegic Center, SPC, in Notteville after his initial care in hospital. At the SPC, which is the group's clinic, several specialists operate on Paul's spine. Afterwards, he is transferred to the intensive care unit and then to his room at the SPC. Paul is pleased that he is a member of the Benefactors Association of the Paraplegic Foundation. Members who sustain a spinal cord injury in an accident and end up in a wheelchair permanently receive 250,000 Swiss francs from the foundation to help start their new life. Paul now faces several months of rehabilitation at the SPC, which involves a lot of physiotherapy and occupational therapy. During this whole period of rehabilitation, Paul is supported by other subsidiaries. Among other things, Orthotech employees convert Paul's car to accommodate a wheelchair. As Paul can no longer feel his legs and feet, he will learn to control the whole car using a special steering wheel. Paul also seriously injured his wrist in the accident, which means that he has restricted manual motor skills. Active Communication supports him here by providing him with an adapted mobile phone. He can use this, for example, to open a door and to control his surroundings. He can practice this in one of the practice apartments at the SPC. So that Paul's wife can be close to him during his rehabilitation, she regularly spends a few days at Hotel Zembacher See. She appreciates being able to spend the night nearby so she can be with Paul again early the next morning. Rehabilitation of a person with a spinal cord injury takes 4 to 9 months on average. This depends on the severity of the spinal cord injury. After 6 months, Paul can go home. Before he does so, his apartment needs to be made wheelchair accessible. The Swiss Paraplegics Association, SPA, a partner organization of the foundation, supports him in this. Modifications include the removal of raised thresholds and lowering kitchen counters. Paul is at home again now and in regular contact with ParaHelp. The company advises Paul, his wife, and Spitex nursing and care services, for example, on how Paul can transfer from his wheelchair into bed, or what to do if he has problems placing his catheter, given that his spinal cord injury means he can no longer feel his bladder. Paul is soon able to return to work. During his rehabilitation at the SPC, internal vocational guidance staff helped him to retrain for a new job, in an office rather than as a tradesman. Swiss Paraplegic Research is investigating, among other things, whether Paul's new job is permanent and successful and how the work situation is affecting his life. The foundation can use the results to check whether there are any gaps in care and where investments are still required. Paul now has a regular daily routine again. He is working part-time, has started playing wheelchair rugby, and meets up with his friends. Paul is back in his life. The whole paraplegic group has supported him so far from the acute phase through rehabilitation to this point, and will continue to do so throughout his life. Thanks to more than 1.8 million people who pay their membership fee each year, and many other private individuals and companies who donate money for the group's wide range of projects.